The end of the big three clans. Currently in Jujutsu Kaisen, the big three clans who are supposed to be the pinnacle of the Jujutsu world are currently in a disarray that we have never seen in the series. In my opinion, this is going to be the start of the revolution that Gojo has begun to occur, and I believe this Culling Games is going to be an important arc for our main cast to be able to finally begin their changes in the Jujutsu world. Let's talk about the Gojo clan. A little over 1,000 years ago, during the Heian period where Jujutsu sorcery was at its peak, a group of families rose to prominence among Jujutsu sorcerers. They were called the Three Noble Houses, and the most prominent one was the Gojo clan. The Gojo family descended from Sugiwara no Michizane, one of the three great vengeful spirits of Japan. The Gojo family, who passed down the curse technique Limitless, finally acquired the Six Eyes again for the first time in approximately 400 years with the birth of Gojo Satoru, the current head of the clan and the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer in modern times. The Gojo clan operates almost entirely throughout the Gojo Satoru alone, and that is most likely why we haven't seen previous and other Gojo members. Now the Zenin clan. This is a clan that has gained unshakable position in history by taking in and bringing together Jujutsu sorcerers with powerful techniques into their family. That is the Zenin family. Therefore, the strength of this family lies in their multiple inherited techniques such as projection sorcery and the 10 shadows technique. On the other hand, those who do not inherit the technique are treated as outcasts, shown with people such as Maki and, for example, Toji. The Kamo clan. They're I can't say the word, so you should see the name right now, who rose to prominence in the Heian period and made their name well known as Jujutsu sorcerers. The Kamo family is very traditional and orthodox and is considered the most prestigious family out of the three noble houses and is the most involved with the higher-ups of the Jujutsu world. The Kamo family held in high esteem in the traditions and social standing of the Jujutsu world, as well as the family lineage and inherited techniques, the blood manipulation technique. However, the history books of the Kamo family is one to be stained, and in the early Meiji period, the Kamo family produced the most evil sorcerer in history in his uncontrollable and dark curiosity about Jujutsu, with him committing heinous acts on a woman with a unique body composition, which we found out later on in the series was actually through the use of Kenjaku. But what is the value of bloodlines and the techniques among the three noble houses? There are only things that make the three noble houses the most prestigious families, and the first is bloodline, which carry their family name, and the second is the curse technique, which carries their power on. Moreover, like shown in the Gojo vs Toji fight, it's basically a manual to how to use the technique, but that also works against you with it being known to the other people in the Jujutsu world. Let's start off with first the Zenin clan. So right now, this is the clan that we've seen being explored the most, and we have enough in terms of the people that we've seen, in terms of their ideologies. At this moment of time, we know that the Zenin clan are supposed to be very sexist, have a backward mentality in terms of the Jujutsu world. They're completely against people who do not have curse energy, and even have a whole stain towards people using curse tools because they do not believe that these are the proper Jujutsu sorcerers. Moreover, we've seen people such as Naya, Nobito, and Ogi who have had big resentment to other characters and have showcased their different ideals towards the Jujutsu world. We're now in a situation where the Zenin clan has been massacred by one of the Zenin people in Maki. Now I think there is a lot of things to come from the Zenin clan, especially with the majority of what we could seem as the bad people have been killed off. Well, at this moment in time, we don't know how many people have been killed off. However, what we do know is the fact that Megumi will be spearheading the new length of the Zenin clan. Next is the Kamo clan. We don't have too much information in regard to the Kamo clan. However, we do know that Kenjaku has taken over the clan. As well as we know with their previous bad history, they're currently in a grey area in regards to the Jujutsu society. However, have a great relationship in regard with the higher ups. In terms of what's next for them, we don't know at this moment of time, and their storyline hasn't been explored enough, so there's not too much to talk about in regards to the end of their lineage. And then finally is the Gojo clan, with the Gojo clan obviously main person in Gojo being sealed. They become pretty much irrelevant, and I doubt we will see much to do with them, signifying the end of the Gojo clan until Gojo is unsealed from the prison realm. But why do I think that we're going to see a revolution? There is a lot of things in terms of regards to the ending of the clan system, with the Kamo clan being controlled by Kenjaku, that is one of the key pieces who's going to be manipulated by the Jujutsu world. We have the Gojo clan, with Gojo being sealed, meaning the Gojo clan has become negligent. Zenin clan, which has been massacred, and now we have Megami, who's supposed to take the realms of the new head of the family. However, at this moment in time, they're going to be being suspended by the higher ups, and they're currently awaiting the decision that is going to happen to the clan. But why I move to the fact that the clan system is going to die out and we're going to enter a whole new age of Jujutsu world society is kind of the ideals of the current clan members, with Gojo taken away, with Kenjaku manipulating people, and Megami not really having any much care for the clan system in general. We're in a situation where the focus on the clans are going to become obsolete and we're going to be focused on the new ways the Jujutsu world can be revamped. A good thing that we got from Momo in her quote, and in specific, let's talk about women in the Jujutsu society. It was very misogynistic and how they take to have a bad outlook on them. If they're not strong enough, they're ostracized. However, if they're not good looking enough, they're ostracized regardless. So there is a key balance, and we've seen through somebody such as Maki, who's finally reached the level of Toji, being someone of great level of strength. She's going to change the whole perception of women in the Jujutsu world. I'm also firm in somebody such as Nobara, and I'm going to see how, with her potentially coming back, how her flipping mentality with not necessarily caring about Momo's initial words, I think that's something that's going to be challenged and further showcased to us the changes of the perception of women in the modern day Jujutsu society. I think a thing and a person who interested me a lot was Uru. Uru was a person who was a high-end era assassin in the toughest era of Jujutsu. However, she seems to have been somewhat respected before she was betrayed. She got to a level of strength that allowed her to break through the stigmas of the misogynistic society that they live in. And I think this is going to be a key moment and things that would change. Moreover, we're seeing how kind of dumb the Jujutsu world and the higher ups are. Something Gojo repeatedly talks about is their ironic and ignorant mentality to their actual issues and changing to what's important in the Jutsu world. And now with the new crop of students who have a disdain, not necessarily follow these specific people, we're going to get to a situation where they begin to change and usher a new age of society that will change significantly in the current crop of Jujutsu world. I think the lore drops that we can get in regards to the differences in mentalities and how that's further going to be pushed, especially after the events of the Culling Games, it's going to be very significant. I think is one of the most underrated aspects in regard to Jujutsu Kaisen. I think right now with a lot of the main people, for example, Kamo, who decided to leave and focus on coming into the game, even though he knows the repercussions that would happen to him with the higher ups. We're in a situation where the higher ups are slowly losing their power, and in specific, when it comes out that Kenjaku has been manipulating them, which I do think eventually we'll get to, it will showcase how fickle the system they have is and the more of changing of the new world. More so, we can even get to, for example, the grading system. Gojo has been thorough on talking about is how the current crop of the grading system won't be able to hold down the current group of Jujutsu sorcerers. I think this will be highlighted to a higher level, and we're going to get to the situation where the idea of special grade, grade 1, etc. is either going to be revamped or completely taken away. We've seen anomalies of people such as Hikari, who isn't considered a special grade just for the fact that he's been suspended. We've seen how the even higher ups keep heavily restriction, and regardless of the broken things that we've learned as the audience, they don't take it into account because it's not proper Jujutsu. And it makes my whole point of even Toji's quote of when he kills Gato and Gojo, where he says, even with all your blessed talent, you lost to a monkey with no Jujutsu. I think we're getting to a point where all these anomalies are becoming far more relevant and far stronger, that the current age of ideals and stuff that the higher ups and these boomers have in terms of the Jujutsu world are going to become obsolete. And we're going to get to a new part where these new students usher in the new age and fulfill a lot of the wishes that Gojo has for them. I think more so than even if Gojo does come out of the box and comes out to see his students, we're going to be in a new way where the world is going to change so significantly that the current ideals won't be able to hold them down. And I think this is the very thing to be excited about, more so than just the main fights and obviously plot points. I think it's very underrated how we're getting to a section where they've completely changed the potential use of the whole society. And I'm excited to see how far it's gone, and I'm really excited to see the new ending of the three big clans. The final section is the moving on from inherited techniques. We know the Zenin family, Gojo family, Kamo family, Urumaki family, and then obviously Zenin again with the projection sorcery all have techniques that they pass on to their kin. However, we're in a situation where there's a lot of different modern day techniques, like for example Hikaris, the Blackbird manipulation, etc. And all these different techniques that have such different variations, and of course still very important techniques, that it's coming to a point where there isn't necessarily a need to pass down these techniques. They may have added benefits and potentially become one of the pinnacle in their eyes. However, there's other jujutsu sorcerers, for example, like Yuta, who can mimic other people's abilities, which is insanity. The new level of techniques has got to a point where the main focus of the big three clans in terms of passing down their inherited techniques might not become as important as it once was, and we're moving on to a new age of society which other techniques have not only rivaled them but become just as strong or potentially stronger than these techniques. And that will be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more like this, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you want to get different JJK merchandise and some anime content, check out the affiliate links down below.